All right, this video is about things that made me a better archer. I competed this past weekend and it went awesome. Now I finished with a 299 with 45 X's. But let me tell you, I was the most confident I ever been. I wasn't just shooting at paper, slinging arrows at paper, hoping that they go into X. The X's that I executed, that was seriously intentional and on purpose. And I loved having that type of control. Now, this is my target. This is how I finished. You can tell here. This is my 4. It's the I scored I had 299, 45. This is my 4. This came in the 6th end. It was my 4th arrow, right? Because this is how I shoot. I shoot middle, top, that, here, here. That's how I shoot. This is my 4th arrow. Thing is, I wasn't nervous. I was in the zone actually, right? I was in the zone. I was rocking and rolling. And what happened was me pushing too hard and me being shallow in my grip. Now, when I say that, this is what I mean. So for me, to me, this is, I know they say, put your hand out, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Turn it, and that's how you should hold, right? That's perfectly fine. I ain't got no problem with that. So for me, they want people tell you to put it on the meaty part of your hand. For me, too shallow. When I'm doing that, if I put that bow there, like that, on that meaty part of my hand, and it's not crossing this line here, if I just put it there, what happens is it's not stable. So I'm here, and it's not stable at all. I get this. Just get a bounce, a consistent bounce. No matter how much tension I do, no matter what got going on, you get that bounce. So, and then you got too deep where you're here. And that's not stable for me either. So I'll get some shaking that way. And then you got just right. So for me, this is just right where it goes down and it will cross this line here on my hand. When I hold that way, that bow basically parks itself. I don't get the bounce and I'm not getting side to sides. Also, when I'm too shallow and I come for a draw, anchor and everything, I can't seem to get the bow up. I lock low. I'll lock down here and I can't get it into the X. So that's why I don't go shallow anymore, right? So archery is about what's comfortable for you. Now I ain't gonna say what's comfortable, what's successful for you and your body. Archery is an individual thing. Now they all have standards and what you should do and where you should start. But listen, most people would tell me, and when I say most, a lot of people tell me, hey, holding like that is wrong. It needs to be here. Well, this is not stable for me. I would get consistent bounce. Here it's stable. Like I said, it crossed that line a little bit, but that's stable. If I don't lock low, I don't have bounces, I don't have sways. It's just there. I have a float. I have a little figure 8, if that. But all I got to do is give it a little push with the wrist, tighten that up, and then I'm pulling through. As you can see, I don't have a left issue at all. I don't have a left issue. I have a down and right issue. And these highs here, 1, 2, 3, 4. What those is me holding too deep in my hold, and what it caused me to heal the bow. As it's going off, there, boom, 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 boom. That's what those 4 was. Until now, I wasn't able to actually tell you exactly the story of every single hole in this paper. Now I'm at a point where I can tell you every single arrow. What I did right, what I did wrong, right? And because here's the thing, this is the result of the data of this and what you're doing. This is the result. It's not that just No, something happened, and you need to get to a point in your archery and your confidence as an archer of self-correcting, accountability, and discipline where you can make those calls, where you can say, oh, I pushed too hard. I didn't follow through. You know what? My stabilization system here I got going on, it's not working out because when I release, when it goes off, it's going right. It's going down right, it's going down left. It's not going straight. So something's going off with your stabilization. You're holding wrong. You're pushing too hard to make that bow, to make the arrow not go straight and that bow to follow through straight. This is a Scott S2, 2 series. You know, trigger hair, loaded, now it's ready to go. You see this? There, I can punch it, but I have to really punch it. See me tapping this? I have that trigger loaded up so heavy, as high as it can go, before it goes off, and without locking the trigger. So you see what it takes for me to actually punch it. So if I was to punch this, I have to really dedicate myself to punch it. Otherwise, there's no slapping this. That's heavy. If I put it on my thing, I think it registered about 15 pounds or something like that. But it's because I wanted to get the new, LCA scale. That's a little bit more consistent. But yeah, I got that thing loaded up. That way I can preload and I'm not scared of worrying about, hey, it's just about to go off. Not worry about what is going to go off. Like I said, everything is very consistent. Everything is robotic. I learned that with competing this weekend. All right, so I have to shoot with a high shoulder, release hand shoulder, not bow hand, right? Helps my execution. If I don't get that up there, then what's gonna happen is I'm gonna struggle to get that shot off, and it's gonna create instability just in the actual hole and in my tension on the bow. If it's not 98% or better, I'm not shooting it. So here's my process. Get it on my eye, high shoulder. See, this hand is over my ear. Firm in my bow hand. Release. Not punching. So I'm preloading 60%. So how my numbers go? When you get on the index, 60%. When you pull back and draw, when I pull back and draw, the tension already on my bow hand and the string and just the overall shot execution, I kind of, in my head, I look at it like 18, 19%. And I'm only using 1 or 2% in the actual shot execution. So 60 here, 18 or 19 there. So I'm getting this one, when the shot execution goes, I'm getting this to 80%. And I'm only getting this to 20%. And that's how that goes off. And what's crazy is, since my hand is over my ear, I have this pulsing sound. And if it's steady, and this is what I hear, right? And when it's steady, that means I'm building that pressure consistently and accurately, correctly. When it gets jagged or speeds up, that means kind of some target panic is maybe happening. I'm not preloaded correctly. And now I'm starting to muscle it instead of execute by pulling through. If I'm shallow and I muscle it, low right, for sure. If I'm too deep and I muscle it, I'm healing the bow. Draw length needs to be pretty much on point. For me, you do the math. My draw lengths come 28.2. So 28.25. So mine's is slightly a little longer than that. I mean, we're talking about an eighth, if anything, right? And how you go about testing that, your draw length, because you want this thing to come right on the tip of your nose. Now for me, since I shoot both my eyes open, you see I lean my head over. So it makes it look like it's longer than what it is, but it's not. So here, pull that thing back. Just turn your head, straighten up. You see, touch the tip of my nose of how I shoot. Because remember, I pull my head over since I shoot both of my eyes, and that's tension. It's touching the tip of my nose, see? Tip of my nose. That's tension. Preload, go. And see, the reason that went so fast, I had that one at 20. It was a lot of tension here. When I pull back and I already got that at that 20, this preload, that thing is going. With that preload, it turns that preload into basically 70. And so it don't take much for that thing to fire off. I will hope that nobody's starting their execution and they're not in the X. You know, so you will want, when you start it, even if it goes off fast, you're in the middle, you're on that X. Oh, oops. Well, still an X, right? So for me, with this verdict, I don't have a lot of forgiveness built into this bow. That's on purpose, because I need to learn to be consistent. I need to learn to be robotic. Everything needs to be the same. If it's not the same, it results in those lows. It results in just 5s and not X's. And also, what I learned from me is, I always thought this was a no-go, the follow through. Follow through. When that thing goes, it make sure your stabilizer system, what you got going on, that it makes that arrow go straight out that bow, and that your hand placement on your bow is rock solid for you, for your tension and what you got going on, where when that shot executes, it's straight. It's not turning left or right, down or up, straight. Every shot, it becomes you collecting data. You know, so nervousness goes out the window for me. And if nervousness jumps in, I start humming. I hum the Smurfs theme song. It calms me down. Humming is a natural relaxer. You can look it up for yourselves, right? So I start to hum. And I'll be doing that throughout the competition when I'm not shooting, because it's just a natural relaxer. That way I can focus. I can focus on what's important. So what's important is what I'm doing downrange, and actually what I'm doing here and here, that's giving me the results downrange. So what's focus? So your focus should be on your bow and on your person, because every little thing that you're doing is the result of what's down there. If it's not in the middle, you need to be able to recognize that, pinpoint it, correct it. You got to get to a point where you're doing that. So anyway, that's what this video is about. It's just about my checklist, and I'll walk you through my checklist and where I'm at now. And this is the result of me competing in Sidewalk and Gateway. My scorecard here, 299.45. 299.45. Your results don't lie. That's just what it is. Your results tell you everything you need to know about you as an archer, what you're doing, your headspace, and everything. So every arrow is data. Try to make it quick as possible. That's my list of what has me shoot the most confident I've ever shot as an archer. So go keep doing this. Y'all know y'all can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and here on YouTube. So we're gonna try to get more consistent videos out here, but I definitely put content daily on those other platforms. So y'all know what it is. Zeros up. Let's get it. Let's keep holding ourselves accountable and disciplining those habits. Yeah.